All right, Chantal, this is fantastic to have you in Leadership Nugget. So we want to go through a couple of questions with you. You can choose all of them or four or five of them as you see fit. You want me to kind of start you off? So the first question that I normally ask is, what is that one mindset shift that really help you lead through a tough time? And I'm sure all of us have faced tough time in our leadership journey. So this might not be that hard to think of.
I thought about this one, and I thought actually I give you an answer, but it's not about one big challenge, but it's more something I do on a daily basis. I'll get the example of, let's say, meetings, but that can apply to my daily life outside of work as well. When you plan your day, let's say you have a meeting that you know will be very difficult, where you have very tough stakeholders, and then you have a meeting you know it's going to be very nice, like the one we're having today, and it's going to be very enriching, and you're looking forward to it. So let's say you have these two readings. And what I'm trying to do in the morning when I plan my day in my head is saying, okay, you're going to have a difficult one. Let's say it's the first one, but don't worry because after that, you're going to be the rewarding one a bit later on. So it's okay. You have to go through it. Don't freak out. And then you have a little bit of a reward in the end because you're going to have a meeting you're going to enjoy very much. This is super easy because your brain works on challenge, reward, all good. What I've learned to do, and I've tried to rewire my brain to do it, is in the opposite. When you have a really good meeting, let's say in the morning, and the tough one in the afternoon. Before, I was only focusing on the tough one, and I was not taking the time to enjoy the first one. And now I'm forcing myself to be very present and weight them in the same way. So in my brain, it's just I still can enjoy the first one, and okay, be worried about the second one later on, but it's fine. And it's just about, I'm the only one who can do that. And it's just a matter of perspective and just making sure that you kind of reward yourself with the right things, even if there's something bothering you. It took me a lot of time to do that. And through tough times when I had a lot of challenging meetings, that really helped. That was very good. Yeah.
I think it's the same with when we are trying to do that with our kids. It's the risk and reward, the carrot and the stick. So we are trying to tell our brain that let's go through this tough one. Something interesting and fun is waiting. So it works vice versa as well. Like your morning. So tough, so stressful that all you want to do is get through those 1 hour or 2 hours of very difficult conversations and then look forward to something at the end as well.
Yeah, great. And look, the other thing I've learned through, I mean, experience, I'd say, is being grateful, even when things are really dark and, it can always go worse. So be grateful for the little things that are really nice in your life. Just don't disregard. I don't know, I got two boys, a big hug in the morning or celebrate the little wins, I'd say. This is really important.
Fantastic. I think that's very true because we always associate success or happiness to big things. Like it has to be sparkling enormous, it has to be very pricey, and that should give me that amount of happiness or joy. But just waking up, and especially for me, my balcony is very green, and I try to keep my plants alive, which is one of my resolutions from last year. I have to keep my plants alive. That gives me so much of joy just looking at a green balcony.
Being grateful, I think that. And I feel like when I was younger, it wasn't the case as much. I was so busy and so not taking the time to step back. But I guess, when you get a bit older with aging parents and you realize that this life is short and you need to make the most of it. And if you don't enjoy the journey, you only enjoy the big achievements in the end. It's not as rewarding.
Yep, agree. All right.
Mm.
I'll move on to my next question to you. And I'm getting very good answers to that and very interesting one as well. So, one time piece of advice that you would give someone, maybe your colleague, your friend, your network partners, who's facing a leadership crisis.
Yeah, for me, it's self awareness. And it's a tricky one because I'm not sure you can teach self awareness or teach someone, or you can learn it maybe through experience as well. But it should be the starting point. And by self awareness, what I mean is understand what is driving you. what is making you happy and motivating you to take action. So that you need to understand, and nobody can do it for you. And then also understand what pushes your buttons. You're in a meeting and there's someone who's so annoying, and you obviously your reptilian brain reacts and you're like in defensive mode, and or you're ready to attack. And I didn't understand that earlier, but one of my friends is doing a PhD in decision making, so we're talking about how brain works. And look, this is why you're annoyed, because this person, your brain sees them as a threat. And the first step is to recognize it's happening. It's this self-awareness. And now when there's someone that is annoying me, I'm just pausing and I'm thinking, why? Why am I reacting that way? Because that's only my reaction. They haven't done anything to annoy me. So self-awareness for me is what is motivating me, driving me to, giving me happiness. And at the same time, what is triggering me? And if I recognize what I'm triggered, it's much easier for me to analyze what's going on. So I guess when I have this kind of crisis and I'm not too sure what to do next, I'm always pausing and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Let's be a little bit more objective and try not to get the emotions in it so much. But if I was external, someone else, how would I approach it, right?
Sounds good. That's very practical actually. Whether it takes self-awareness or just taking a pause, understanding what is triggering one person is, I think I would say, you don't need to be at a certain age to realize that. It's so important to realize that how would I react in this situation and how can I make it, rather than fight or flight, how can I make it a conversation, like a productive conversation at the end of the day. Great.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So next one. So
Oh, yeah, the most underrated skill. This is such a great question. Thank you. I really like this one actually, and for difficult situations. And actually, for me, it's listening. And the second time I'm saying that this week, but 2 ears, one mouth, and we should use them in these proportions. And that's because when it's really hard, we always have this urge to talk, to take an action, to fix something, to make a decision. Why sometimes when it's very difficult, same thing, pause and listen, read the room as well. So it's not just listening, I mean it's active listening, but it's also putting your phone away and actually watch your body language, what's happening around you. Quite often the difficult situations are involving people. If it would be just on paper, it would be easier, but the human factor quite often makes situations difficult. And we humans, so it's about listening and watching them. And when you are in a conflict with someone, the best gift you can give yourself is actually analyze how they're acting. Are they aggressive? Are they trying to convince you? What's their behavior and what's their tactic to get to you? So I think, listening, definitely listening and be very present in the moment.
yep, yep. And it's the simplest thing, but it is, as you
It
rightly said,
is.
it's quite underrated.
Yeah. Because I made a point not to read the other interviews, not to be influenced by the other leaders you interviewed. And so you can have my very personal responses. So yeah, I'm sure you have a lot of different answers to this one. I thought that was the most thought provoking one.
Oh,
Oh,
it is. It is. And the answers are also, as in, when you put on the spot to think, you never kind of, as a person, I don't literally think what is the most underrated skill in a difficult situation. I just respond to the difficult situation. And that's
yes, exactly.
how I wired culturally, experiences, so on and so forth. But just the listening bit can really, solve half of the problem sometimes.
Don't think so. Yeah, yeah.
One thing you wish you would have done differently in a challenging moment that Kate
That works. That's very much related to what I said. It's pose. So actually, I'll put two there. The first one is pose, which is a recurring themes with, when I'm facing something really hard. If I answer straight away, if, I don't think that's going to be the best response. So posing for me, it's something I've learned through years, and I had an amazing mentor for years and years, and he taught me that. And he said, posing is, it's okay. And you don't have all the answers, and it's okay. You have something, very conflicting to address, you can sleep on it. The problem will still be there. Tomorrow is fine. So pausing is a big thing for me. And the other one, sorry, I give you two answers here.
Sure, please.
Is when you are in a difficult meeting and you have people, going after you, or, you have a bit of an argument and everything. I was reacting, same thing, it's the brain kick. I was reacting and I could be very becoming emotional about it. Because I think in my head, I was making assumptions that they really wanting to, undermine me, or I was making all these assumptions. And actually, it was my manager at eye care, was just amazing. And same thing, it was a bit of a mentor. And you went, look, it's okay. Everybody's here to do a good job, right? We don't want to do a bad job when we hide and we work for a company. We want to do the right thing by the company. And quite often the companies have the right values and the vision and everything. Everybody wants to do the right thing. It's just you don't know what the context is around. Maybe they have pressure from your manager, for them managers. Maybe they have issues at home. You don't know. So give yourself this, just assume positive intent. They come to this meeting. At the end of the day, you all want to do the right thing. So stop making all these assumptions. And quite often when you validate your assumptions with them, you realize that they're coming from a different angle. So you didn't have a full picture. And then suddenly you're gonna understand why they're really, hard on you, or they're making your life difficult. But yeah, I think that was helping me a lot. And this is a very late lesson I learned not so long ago.
Fantastic. I think that's very difficult to do at that moment, I would think. Unless you are very lucky to have that mentor to kind of whisper the right things in your ears. But when someone, especially me, I have learned from experiences of going through these motions. I wish I had the right sort of mentor at the right stage of my career. I do have great mentors now, but when I needed them the most, I didn't quite find. And that's probably one of the reason I'm looking back 20 years back when I was starting off. Had I have this nugget in place when I was starting off, I would have done maybe lesser mistakes or less reactive, knee jerk, reactions to somebody in my office or across. But yeah, that's having a great mentor to whisper the right things at the right moment is sometimes it just make or breaks your career as well.
Yeah.
You just don't do that.
So great. And the other thing is, not everybody is a mentor. I had people when, companies who organize mentoring programs, and that didn't work for me because they were telling me what to do. Why, this person, Bruce, who's been my mentor for 11 years, he was asking me the questions. He never gave me the answers. He just made me find my own answers. And that was the best, because that was so challenging. But he never had pre-canned answers that would work for everyone. It just made me find my answers. So that was very enriching.
Fantastic. I'll go to the fifth and the last question for this afternoon for us. Let me ask you the one that I really like. What's one leadership myth that doesn't hold up in tough situations? It doesn't come to you all the time. At least when I was writing this, it never came to me.
One of them, and I think it's especially true because we're so connected now. The myth is that you need to take action urgently and everything is urgent. This is not true. But because we connected, we got all the notifications, all the flags, all the time, and we feel like we have to do it straight away. So this is not true.
It is not in that important urgent quadrant. But sometimes can you push back? Can you, as in, have you tried pushing back on something which is maybe coming from superiors and it seems that it's in the urgent important quadrant, but you perhaps
I thought about it actually this afternoon because I didn't have my calendar wasn't full. I didn't have like back to back meetings, but I had things to do. So I had this time dedicated to do certain things, right? And some of my stakeholders started to ping me or send emails. And now one of my team members is expecting me to respond. For me, this is more kind of strategic vision. They don't need an answer in the 2 hours. But now everybody's getting nervous, like, you need to answer them. I'm like, no, I'm having my meeting with you and we're talking about that. It's not urgent. Nobody's going to die. We're not running an emergency room, right? So, but I feel like there's very much this sense of urgency that is totally a myth. And it's up to us to stick to our priorities, I'd say. That's the one. And if I can, I'll give you another version if you, yeah, which is, it's not a different one. Is the myth is you think you're the only one who can save a day. And there's always someone who can help. And sometimes, yeah, the people have a dependency on you and you feel like, everything's gonna break when you go and leave or whatever. This is not true.
so true. As in, we sometimes put so much on ourselves,
Yeah.
even somebody telling that, yes, you are the savior. You are the only one who can change this current fortune. But maybe that's not the case. And not everything is urgent and important quadrant. So, takeaways, great takeaways, Chantel. It was so fun to talk on a Friday. Something not work.
Which one you want now?
Habit, maybe small habit, which still habits you. Yep.
This is super easy for me to answer. Actually, it's hanging out with my mates who are not working in the same space. So some in a gym club, we've been the same people hanging out for, I don't know, I've been there 11, 12 years. And we are from all walk of life. Some guys are 80 plus years old. Some are still at uni. We do socials, we do all these things. But for them, I'm not Chantal Velasque, head of blah blah. I'm just Chantal. I'm just one of them, right? And when it's very chaotic, my gym sessions with them, so fitness classes, like non-negotiable. I have to be there and I have to be with these people who don't know actually my challenges, my daily life, my work. They're not across it. They're just like me for who I am. And that's so important. So that's my little habit.
Superb, superb. So just find a place which is completely, off work or off if you're doing your own venture. So something that's just you can bring your authentic self to. Fantastic. I think I got all of that I was looking for and more.
You love. I will send you my notes anyway, so that if that helps.
That's sweet of you. I was making notes. Sorry, I did not keep eye contact in the bit.
No, no, no. All good, all good.
So I am a bit old school, so I love having a diary and still scribbling and going back to it and looking at it.
Me too.
This is my life. If I lose this,
I know. And I started to use OneNote on the laptop for work related stuff, but I still have my kind of notes or to do lists and everything there. Yeah.
I do. I sometimes I can't even read my own handwriting, but I still need to do a. I think it's habit. But thank you so much. It was
My
fantastic.
pleasure. I'm committed.
I hope we keep this dialogue open for this entire year. I don't want this to be like one spot and we forget each other down the road.
Absolutely. And it was a pleasure to chat with you. So I'll send the text you to thank her for the introduction as well.
Thank you. Take care. Have a nice weekend.
All right. All right. Thank you. See ya.